She wants to work on her house. Contractor come by, she beat her out of about $1,000.
So, awesome.
To go get materials, some tools.
So young.
I said, maybe this would be the first clue.
Actually, you need to tell these guys, you need to have one of those things that go.
And she was crying. I mean, she
One
don't.
of those things that actually.
Yeah, she was.
Good morning. Comes County Mr. Court come to order. This is Tuesday, the 22nd day of June, 2021, 9:30 a.m. County Courtroom, Anahuac, Texas. Where's my prayer? You gone? You all right? Praise Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for all that we're given. Blessed we are, and all the faith should be with us as we make decisions that affect so many people in this county. Lord, guide us and direct us in all that we do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Crossing the pledges. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. All right, citizens' comments. Larry Marr, you here for an item? Rachel Heisler. Ms. Heisler, come on up. You have 3 minutes,
I'd
ma'am.
like to reserve my comments for the agenda item.
Okay,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. Which agenda item is that? 2.1, I see. Hi, Darlene McPherson. I think it's on.
Is it on there?
Thank
It's
you.
on
There
there.
we go.
I come bearing good news, which is a change, Judge Sylvia, so you can smile at me.
I did smile at, I'll smile at you anyway.
I want you guys to know that this weekend we have from Anahuac, history is being made. We have, okay, I had to write this down. We have 6 teams going to state finals and regionals. For softball, it's state finals. For baseball, it's regionals. Softball, we have 15U. My granddaughter's on that team. She's only 12, but she's on that team. We have 12U and we have 8U, and 15U and 12U finished first in the district, and 3 baseball teams that finished first in the district. Out of the 10 teams that we had in All-Stars, 7 of them were district finalists. Now, this is history for Anahuac. We've never done this before. But more than that, in a few years, Anahuac High School is going to have some of the best softball and baseball players that they've seen in years. And this is due to the volunteer coaches at AYSO and the AYSO program. We have volunteer coaches and volunteer helpers like Todd Swanky, Trent Hart, Lindsay Hedges, Casey Hedges, Colin Henneke. These guys, some of them played high school and college baseball and softball. I could go on and on about with these gentlemen and ladies' names, but you guys know them. The last thing I would like to say is please let these guys, Mr. Barrera, be involved in the value engineering on these fields out here, because they can really help bring down the costs and get the ball fields that we want and need for our children and for the future. And thank you so much. Rah, rah, go, go Anahuac.
Thank you, congratulations.
Well, right on time.
Yeah, perfect.
Right on time? Yes.
Did, Anahuac, I think it's 12U beat Winnie?
Yes.
Okay,
You beat everybody.
sorry, Jim. And I think, Lawrence Reds team won last night. Congratulations. And we haven't had Commissioner's Court since the Barbersville Boys won state, have we? No, we've had court since the girls. Well, congratulations, Barbersville girls softball, Barbersville boys baseball. I saw we're the first time in 5A or 6A that's ever happened for a school, so great job. And we'll have a resolution on the next Commissioner's Court commending them for that. So. All right, let's tell you what, I know there's several folks here for 2.1, so we're just going to go to 2.1, discuss the consider an order authorizing issuance of Chambers County tax combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation, series 2021, authorizing sale thereof and enacting provisions incident related to the issuance of said certificates. Ms. Eisler. Now you have 3 minutes. Ms. Eisler, make a comment. Pass that on, please. Good morning.
Good morning. I also have great news for you.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you what a great privilege and honor it was to go out and speak to citizens from all across the county. People invited me into their homes to sit in their living rooms or stand in their kitchen while they prepared dinner for their families and just talk about, you know, these projects and the pros and the cons of different vehicles that could be used to fund the projects. And it was just really great getting to know lots of new people. So we did gather 488 signatures. We didn't reach the minimum, but I feel like every one of those people, you know, we want to honor them. So I'd like to enter those signatures into the record and present them to you here today and honor the people who took the time to go out and collect the signatures as well. So what I want to tell you that's the good news is lots of people are for these projects. They want the ball fields, they want the roads, they want the kids to have what they need. The main issue that they have is just the vehicle that's been chosen to deliver the projects. They feel like they want to be in partnership with you. They want to reach out and grab hands. They want to go to the ballot box, cast their vote, approve the projects, and then work with you to get them done. So I think that's great news that you do have the support of the community for these projects. And I understand that timing is an issue, that it will take more time to put it on the ballot. And I also understand that sometimes doing the right thing might cost a little bit more, but it doesn't change the fact that it's the right thing by the citizens of Chambers County. And so I just want to encourage you this morning that it's not too late to make a decision to fund these projects differently, because I do believe that you would have the support of the community if you do bring it to the ballot box. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And we'll receive those signatures in the
Thank
record.
you.
All right, James, where's James Gilly? James, come on up, sir. Good morning. You'll introduce yourself.
Yes,
I mean, I think you can pull that table out if you need to.
I think I'll be all right. Thank you, Judge. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here for the record. My name is James Gilly, representing the county as your financial advisor with U.S. Capital Advisors. I'm pleased to be here to present the results of the competitive bond sale, which took place yesterday morning. As I said, in a competitive auction type bid, we solicited bids from investors across the country. Those bids were due at 11 a.m. yesterday, and at the deadline, we'd received a total of 7 bids. The best bid went to R.W. Baird and Company, based out of New Jersey. They submitted an initial true interest cost of 2.290177. I believe you had a presentation of the bond sale summary in your packet in front of you. The bids are laid out on page 1. And you'll notice how close the bid was. The second best bid was about 1/100th of a basis point above Baird, which is an incredibly close bid. So We believe that this is evidence that the county got an excellent result. And this, the fact that we got 7 bids from investors, again, across the country, indicates this is done in a very transparent manner. You may recall when the estimates were provided to the county, I believe back in April, we were estimating somewhere in the range of a 2.45%. The difference between, I'm sorry, after we made some adjustments to the initial bid, and the final true interest cost resulted in 2.279044. And so the difference between that, our initial estimates back in April, and the final result today, I hope I did the math right, but I believe that would result in savings to the county of approximately $1.4 million in total interest savings over the life of the loan. In fact, I don't want to go on too much, take too much of your time, but page 3 is quite revealing. After Baird purchased your bonds yesterday, their intention is to immediately resell them in the secondary market to some of their clients. And they were typically would expect all those bonds to be sold immediately, but they were unable to. As of 1 o'clock yesterday, they still had approximately 80% of those bonds still in their inventory. So that means that they weren't able to find buyers in the secondary market that would purchase the bonds from them at a profitable price. So what that means is that they paid too much. They gave you guys too good of a price. And so again, this is just evidence that the county got the absolute best interest rate available in the market yesterday. The detailed debt service numbers included in the packet. I'll respect your time. I won't ramble on too much, but the rating report is included as well. And if pending court action today, the transaction is expected to close in approximately 30 days. So if there are any questions, I'll entertain any questions, but questions about the ordinance, I'll turn it over to County Bond Counsel.
Thank you. Questions?
Just want to say congratulations to us. That's a great.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Excellent. No.
That right.
Far better than we thought.
Yes.
I'm sorry, just one other point I'd like to point out is that the final par amount is $46,090,000. The Baird purchased the bonds at a premium to the county, which a portion of that premium went to reduce the amount that the county needs to borrow. So notwithstanding the final par amount, the funding that will be delivered to the county at closing is $47,650,000 to spend on the projects. So that's why there's a different par amount, a lower par amount on the cover page.
Nothing else, entertain a motion.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Todd, second by Commissioner Hammond. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. James, thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you, James.
your firm, for your long-term
Thank you, James.
relationship with county, and thank you for getting us low interest rate.
Thank you. Congratulations. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the Vicar staff, and Vicar staff also, who are bond counsel in there and hard work on it. Oh,
Good morning, Judge. This is
I didn't know
Gregory.
you were out there, Gregory.
I was lurking in the back, yeah. Gregory Miller, Vicar staff in Austin. We're proud to serve as the county's bond counsel in this transaction and previous transactions. I brought the customary stack of documents for signature at your convenience.
We'll break here shortly, and
All right.
you want to take them across the hall. So
Okay, sounds good.
you'll have to have myself, the county clerk too.
The clerk and the treasurer, please.
And treasurer.
Good morning. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's go down to 7.1, discuss consider awarding bids for Anahuac Park Baseball Field pending certificates of obligation series 2021 approval. Jeff, is Jeff in? No, but NHC is also they were one of the bidders, but they were the low bidder. Okay, we'll get Jeff on. Mark. You said what?
Can we get George to explain the bid process and how we went through it, everything for everybody, so everybody understands how we did it, if you don't mind? Sure.
So as we went
You
through
gonna
that,
take the
I don't
time?
have it in front of me, I think you do. I think we had 3 qualified bids for that. Okay, and the low bid being N&T. And they are still, I think they're still in the process of value engineering some of that unless it's been completed.
No, they aren't.
They are completed, Judge?
No.
No, they're not. They are
We
still value engineering, yeah. Because there's still some things in the process. By doing the RFP process, we're able to negotiate some of the stuff, value engineering. So-
We're in budget.
We
With N&T's bid, we were.
Yes.
We still made our budget, yes, sir, but there's still some savings out there and we're gonna go after them, okay? We're not done. And PBK and N&T are working on that now. And I was hoping Jeff was gonna make that presentation today that what they had cut out. and what they- they
I told him
Okay.
10, but
Okay.
we're gonna try, he said he's available, so we're gonna try to get him on.
Okay.
If not, we'll come back to it.
But as far as the process went, we're very lucky to have good quality companies applying for our projects. And N&T has already built a school on the east side. They built our library. They did our covered arena on the east side. And they're a quality company. And we had a little incident with the collapse of our arena. And I'll tell you what, they took forefront. They were first and foremost taking care of business and took care of the county, in my opinion.
No, I agree. They did.
So good company to be dealing with right now.
Does here should give us an indication how the other bids should go.
Yes.
Yes, sir. But again, we need, if we're gonna do something, let's do it because pricing is going up, Commissioner. Okay? Yes, sir. You know, yeah, almost hourly.
Yeah, just trying to build something, a front porch, deck.
Just try and buy a 2x4.
Yeah.
But the issue being that, yes, N&T is gonna be a good recommendation to y'all. And I want to see the value engineering they've been doing because they were working on it pretty hard last week.
I mean, I want to make sure we value engineer. I do not want to build these fields cheaply. I mean, in this price here, that includes turf infield.
Turf infield, grass outfield.
It had two options.
Yeah.
And we were in budget with turf infields
Yes, sir.
and grass outfields.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, there are things that we can take down that will make it not noticeable. But we do not want to build cheap. We want these to last.
We want quality on the east.
Well, here's the reason why
west,
you want local folks to be able to use it, but when they're not, we want people coming here and rent these fields and rent these complexes and know that they all look the same. Whether I'm playing at City Bio, whether I'm playing in Winnie, anyway, I get this big tournament where I'm using all the fields and they're paying the county to use them. You know, they've got good quality fields. And we're gonna have a lot of people there that's gonna spend money at restaurants, spend money at, convenience stores, hotels. So, this is the economic development boom for the county.
I agree.
So,
And I know the judge and we got an email from somebody on the park this morning. Positioning of the field, I mean, they're gonna look at the design and position of these fields where if we have room to add fields later, we're gonna do that to make sure it's positioned right for future growth. I mean, so there's a lot of consideration that went into these fields.
yeah, and I sent that, I forwarded that on to our architect, Mike Leslie and Parks Director. You wanna let Jeff in?
Sure.
Thank you, Austin. Jeff?
You're muted,
I
Jeff.
see your lips moving. How many times during this pandemic has somebody said, hey, you're muted?
I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. Is it here, right?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
We're on we approved the certificates of obligation and we're on the awarding the bid for Fort Anahuac Park baseball field. So Jeff, go ahead.
So Thursday afternoon of last week, we took bids from 3 contractors and the low man rated best qualified is N&T Construction out of Beaumont. You're familiar with N&T from their work at the arena in Winnie, as well as the library in Winnie. They also do a lot of the East Chamber schools there in Winnie as well. And so we were pleased to present them as the recommended contractor for this project.
Any questions, Jeff? And we are, I don't know if you said it, Jeff, I wasn't paying attention, but I know we've been talking about doing some value engineering. I forwarded you an email this morning on some suggestions from a local resident here that we can discuss also. You hear me, Jeff?
Oh, yes. So we've, Mike Leslie sent me that email. We have reviewed it. There are a number of county decisions on there that are basically a, if you want them, you want them. If you don't, you don't. That we can work with your team as well as NNT contractor to get you to whatever budget that you would like to allocate for this project. I don't have any personally. I haven't had a lot of time to review it in depth. It's one of the longest emails I've ever read in my life.
Yeah, it was long. And I didn't expect you to read it before we got on court. I just want to tell you that I'd sent it. It's a FYI. We can look at the suggestions. We can make changes. We can leave it like it is. But we do want a quality product that we can be proud of. The community can be proud of, and the people that come in can be proud of. So.
Yes,
So
sir.
you
We
ready for
agree with
us?
that 100%.
To award the bid at this time and work on value engineering? Is that what we need to do? Yeah.
That would be our recommendation. This is the only way we're going to be able to make it through the growth season to be able to open next spring for ball.
Be my motion, Judge, to award the bid for the Anahuac baseball field to M&T Construction and to allow Jeff and Mike Leslie and our team to value engineer this field as well.
So moved. Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
this agenda item goes on to say pending certificate of obligation approval. It's already approved it. But personally, I'd like to see it funded before we actually commit. You know, we need an out until we actually get funding.
Well, it's gonna take a while to do these value engineering that we need to do. I mean, is there any reason why we wouldn't get funded?
I don't know.
Where's
Where'd our bond council go?
Across the house, I would like to get them.
when's our money gonna be available?
You said 30 days.
30 days.
What's the question?
Well, the question was, we got a motion to award the bid and Billy said he'd rather wait till we got funded. But if we don't, if we don't go ahead and move forward, we're not gonna get things, I don't get it done for the next season.
I mean, we can make the award subject to funding,
Yeah.
just so they know that.
When's the
But, you know,
soonest?
I'd just like to see an out. I don't know what can happen. Who knows?
No, I know what you're saying.
When's
I mean, you got the motion on the table.
You're clear, the funding's done, we're signing all the agreements.
Yeah.
All is pending, Billy is to transfer and deposit to the bank, and I'm sure Gregory would say the same thing, we're signed off, it's sold, it's done and coming, so.
So we're saying,
Yeah, when would be the soonest that NT would need any funds?
well, it wouldn't be within 30 days. 'Cause-
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, so we.
That's correct, Jimmy. But by the time they get their bonds and insurance, get their first pay up approved, it will definitely be more than 30 days before you owe them their first check.
And Commissioner, we still have contracting to do with N&T, so there's still some time.
Value engineering contract,
Yes,
and
sir.
there's still some things
Yes,
to
sir.
do. All right, I got a
point, George.
motion second.
You okay with it, Bill?
I guess. If
Any
my
other
auditor
questions?
says he's comfortable with it, then, you know.
Okay, that's my motion, Judge.
No other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Can I ask one more question on it?
Sure.
Jeff, I mean, I know you said they're gonna start, I don't know what kind of practicing or anything they're doing on the field. When's construction gonna start so we can have something sent out to the public? What's the construction time?
Obviously, we'd like to get moving as quick as possible. We will, y'all have court again in 2 weeks. Let me get with N&T on their schedule. They're gonna need some time to look at when they're gonna mobilize, and it's all gonna depend on how quickly we can get this contract turned around. So we should be able to give people plenty of notice for when that demo is gonna start.
How much longer is All-Star gonna last?
I think postseason should be wrapping up.
So most of them are playing this weekend. I mean, it could go to towards the end of July,
Okay.
like the 24th, 25th.
That's the 15th of July.
No, but we're practice here.
I think softball will be finished this week.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're not in a big rush due to the fact that all stars are using the fields, Jeff, but I know the sooner we can get started, the better. All right, we've already voted on it. We can move forward.
We'll get that information for you, Commissioner Gore.
Thank you, sir.
Tell you what, let's take about a 10-minute break. Let me get this signed so we can get the funding on the way.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. He's standing after Judge.
Awesome. All right, Thomas County Commissioner Court come to order at recess. It's 10:19 a.m. And going back to 1.1, discuss consider department update, human resources, Slasher, Aaron Thomas.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I was asked just to give an HR update on everything and just kind of, I guess, bring everybody up to speed and kind of talk about HR. So past 3 months, I've definitely learned a lot more about HR than I've ever wanted to in my entire life. And I'm still learning about things that I didn't know about. So just to kind of give you an update, I guess kind of talk about the HR functions as it is today. Some of the big things about HR, probably the most important thing is they process payroll. That's how you get your check every 2 weeks. It's a very tedious process, takes about 2-3 days. Chelsea and Keely just work and get that done for everybody to get paid on time. Also, HR is part of the hiring process. They do the pre-employments, they do the drug, physical, and now background checks. They also help with the hiring process, and if some departments may want some help with interviewing, things like that, they can request HR to come help and, give some guidance, give some questions. Of course, if they are asked, HR also does FMLA, workers' comp. Still think I'm still trying to grasp my brain around, but luckily a lot of help from TAC and other people have been really helpful. Also, probably one of the most interesting thing is the employee relation with HR, dealing with inner issues that arise all the time. I've always been in my little bubble, so I never knew that there was, things that are always just kind of popping up, and it's been kind of an interesting thing to learn. And also, they maintain the personal records for everybody. So one thing I did learn is that when you get hired, there's a 75-year retention on personnel files, which is just crazy. And that's why if you ever go to the HR office, you see a bunch of like this filing cabinets, because it's all their personnel records from 75 years ago. HR has got 2 staff members, Chelsea and Keely. Chelsea is the payroll and benefits and pretty much runs the entire show. She's been there for 7 years. I know Nikki trained her really well in that. So she's been a helpful part of the team. And then Keely, she's been there for about 2 years. She does, a lot of the day-to-day stuff, paperwork, helping employees out and things like that. Some of the big HR changes that's happened so far, I guess this year is one. HR has been moved to Tony's old office on the 2nd floor of the courthouse. So they're out from the health service building into the courthouse now. some things we're working on also is online timesheets. I think we talked about it last time in our department meeting. So instead of having paper timesheets and having to fill that out, you can now do it in Encode. We're working on that process now, getting that done, but it should save a lot of time in dealing with just, when you're doing payroll, it literally takes 3 days, one person just to sit there, make sure everything's right. And there's always time, there could be errors, someone enter a wrong number in, and it just messes things up. With this, hopefully it'll take a day like that, and then payroll's done, it's complete, it's all electronic, no more, paper timesheets, stop wasting trees, which is really nice. We'll hopefully get that done sometime in the next few months. The also big changes now in our hiring process we talked about earlier was, doing background checks on everybody, on new hires. Nothing really to say on that. When someone gets hired, when they've kind of gone through that process of like, this is the person, we'll run a quick background check and just make sure everything's okay. I know one thing we talked about was the HR audit. We talked to our auditors. They've been working really hard getting the outside audit done, which should be done sometime at the end of this month. So hopefully when that gets done, they can gear up on the HR audit. Just kind of give everybody just a heads up on that. And also, doing this for about 3 months, I think I've got so many messages and people saying, hey, can I help you out? So I really appreciate everyone just pitching in, helping me out. From Nikki to Mr. Woody from the auditor's office, from Heather's said some stuff, and everybody's been really helpful. TAC has been helpful, just talking to us, go through some processes and just employee issues that were probably a lot bigger than me. So they've been really helpful, and really probably the biggest people that really helped is Chelsea and Keely. They really worked their butts off going through the whole thing. And I know it's been a rocky road the past 3 months, but they really just stepped up and did a really good job and helped everybody out. So that's all I have on the HR update, unless you have questions for me.
So I want to say I really appreciate Aaron volunteering to be the interim HR director.
Voluntold.
No, but seriously, and you've done a good job taking it on. And there has been a lot of help from, and that's where we should be, it's helping each other to make things better. So.
And he answers the phone every time I call.
Right.
Thank you.
He and Commissioner 3 have always been best buds. So, step right in.
Thank you.
So Encode, is that the software that we purchased, just now getting it online? Or?
Yeah, so you have Encode already. That's just a regular financial software package that we have. It's just an addition to it. It's still Encode, it's still a Tyler product. So it's already there right now. They're working on just getting everybody set up to do time entry, and then also working with departments and elected officials to say, okay, this is how the process is going to work. They'll designate one person, mostly like the manager of the office or whatever. They'll make sure that the time's entered correctly, and then it's just a click of a button where it gets sent to the HR office and in that process. So we already have software. We're just adding the package to it and then just working on getting it all put together.
Question.
I've been asked this several times and not known the answer on why did we hire an outside auditor for that instead of using our own inside auditor
For what?
for the audit of the HR
Just issues that were.
brought up?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to have an answer for.
Okay. All right. Any questions there? Thank you, Aaron.
Good job.
And also, Judge, have a public comment if you don't mind.
You got to fill out a form.
I will.
All right, go ahead.
So Saturday, this Saturday at White's Park at 7:30, United Way and Hearts and Hand, they're doing a food distribution event. The commissioners have gladly donating breakfast for that morning. Just come by if you need to know, if you know somebody that needs food or help, tell them to come by. It's a pretty easy process. You stay in your car, you'll get a nice box full of food. But if you're able to do and you don't need food and you want to help volunteer, help support your community, come by. You can go to the United Way website. You can register as a volunteer, 7:30. You get free breakfast from the commissioners, and then you can help. It's 7:30 to noonish. It's this morning process, so just come by and help out. Be great.
That was a reminder to hit your billfold. I saw Billy doing it.
I've already done it. Yeah, is everybody paid up?
I haven't.
Yes,
paid him
sir.
yet. They know where to find
Come
me.
around to the back door.
I got you.
I appreciate y'all doing that, Aaron, I really do. So I'll be out of town this weekend, but thank you again for doing all that.
It's an extra 25 if you're out of town.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
You do 1.3?
1.3, discuss, consider offering Norton LifeLock for current former employees and their families for a 1-year period. Employees $549, family $1098 per month. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, so in light of the situation with the HR department, we are asking the court to consider approving to give employees and their families the option to use LifeLock for at least 1 year. The county could pay, with the sensitive information that HR has with employees and their families. I think it might be a good idea to provide some kind of service to those employees and their families. IT did a lot of work, and I'm coming in here now to present it, but we got about 3 companies that checked out. We thought LifeLock had the name recognition. Everyone can trust them, so we were asking for LifeLock for this one. I'd recommend do it for at least 1 year, and then after that, the court can decide to either just cut it off and be done, or provide that as another county benefit for new employees. And that's something we can talk about next year. I think it'd be something good for everybody.
So the recommendation is do it for a calendar year or
For 1 year, so like if y'all sign the contract today and we get everything implemented so next month it's all set up and ready to go, it'll be from July to July. So
So is this a payroll we done?
No.
Now it's not, but if court
the
decides.
county would pay for it? And it'd be up to the employee to sign up for it.
Correct,
But the county would.
yeah, we pay for it. We offer it to current and previous employees and their families because, we retain records for 75 years. So all the information is out there. I don't think there's ever been some sense of fraud in that sense, but just as a safe side, we would do it for 1 year. County would pay for it from July to July. So if I waited till next year to sign up, I would only get up until July. So I couldn't start next year in July and expect 1 year. It'd be for that time frame. And if court wants to, they could provide it as another employee benefit, and it could be a deduct on your paycheck
Moving forward.
And I saw a requisition in here for $10,000. Is that what you think it's going to run?
It's a guess. To be honest, don't really know until people start signing up for it. Some people might not want to sign up for it, which is fine.
Yeah, I think Tommy, did you tell me Bear offered it and some people didn't sign up?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Some people don't.
Have it.
Some people have it already.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at 500 employees, you're only looking at $5,000. If
Yeah.
every one of them took it, so. And this is just a one-time event in light of.
Yes, sir. This is a
deal with
one-time
HR.
thing, just for one.
And we'd have to choose whether we carried it forward or not,
Right.
as an employee benefit. Questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion for approval, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Hammond. Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Stay there, Aaron. Let's go ahead and take care of y'all. We can get back to slashing. Personnel 18-1, discuss consider approval of extension of paid leave to employees exposed to quarantine due to COVID-19.
So in January, y'all decided to go ahead and continue the program where if someone came in contact or they got COVID, that the county would pay, I I guess 14, up to 14 days.
Paid
for-
leave.
Yeah, for paid leave. So they wouldn't have to use their benefits or anything like that.
And originally it was approved in I think June of last year, and the CARES Act reimbursed the county for it, which we've gotten some of those reimbursements just recently. But then when we approved it this last time, it was up to us to pay that 14 days leave.
Yes, and that would have ended, actually end of this month. So it's
Yeah.
time to talk about it again. I think in your packet, you see Mary Beth, she made some discussion, talking points. To be honest, I'm not really sure what the best approach would be. You could extend it for at least 6 more months into December.
I think we extended for, my opinion, we extended for 6 more months. I mean, COVID hadn't gone away.
It hadn't, but if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to be quarantined.
True.
So if they choose not to be vaccinated, I mean, that's their choice.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Yeah, we offer vaccination for free, so everybody can be vaccinated that chooses to. I mean, we're pretty generous with it all along. I mean, you didn't get but a one-time 14-day.
Right.
So if you have to be off with your family, your kid, next time, you have to use your earned leave.
But it would only be for those that did not get vaccinated. And I just don't see how that's fair to the ones that did.
I mean, it's a very reasonable thing to get vaccinated.
And we could put that out, that, look, we're offering vaccination, you get vaccinated, you shouldn't need this.
I mean, we already have that out there. So.
No, I mean, we could put it out again and say, hey, here's a reminder. So.
What if they get it and they've already been vaccinated though? We don't know how long that shot's gonna last. We don't know when the booster's gonna come out.
This
They
is
get
true.
COVID, that's another story.
Well, there have been a few
I mean,
that
this
have gotten
could-
COVID.
Against, any of their family members or something, so. I don't know that we've had any people that got vaccinated to get COVID.
Not in our workforce. I know there's been some. I've heard of cases.
They keep threatening another big outbreak, but they've been threatening that since day one, so.
And do we have any idea? Sorry to put you on the spot, but so anybody that's used this COVID leave this year?
Yes.
No, you have a number?
I don't have a number, but there have been people that have used it before this year.
Yeah, Mary Beth just sent a message saying, just a reminder that it is for people who do have COVID as well, not just the ones who are,
Not just one to the one?
not just the ones that have been around.
Have been
The ones who
exposed.
actually, yeah, not just for ones that are exposed, but for ones that actually have it as well. But whether they've been vaccinated or not.
But we haven't had any that been vaccinated to get COVID.
I don't know.
I mean, I haven't heard that.
I think we have another thing that comes.
I mean, I'm okay if they have COVID or get it, but I just don't think it's fair to those employees that got vaccinated to have to come back to work and somebody else that didn't get paid to sit at home.
Oh, yeah, on that.
So you take it on a case-by-case basis?
Be okay with that, or
I
we
mean-
want to just say if they have COVID, yeah, we can do it, but I mean, for being exposed because they didn't get vaccinated, I'm not in favor.
So extension for paid leave to employees that are quarantined due to the COVID,
Just
Being tested, being positive.
due to having a positive test for COVID-19.
Yeah, so what, I mean, just to throw it out there, because I know it's happened, like what if a kid gets sick or gets COVID or gets tested positive and a parent might have to go and take care of them? Would that work
I mean,
as
I
well,
thought
or?
it's a 14-day period. That's how it was previously. It's for a family member, at one time 14 days. So like I said earlier, if your kid gets it, you gotta stay home with them. Then if you get it, you gotta use your other leave. So you want to approve the extension of the paid leave to employees quarantined due to COVID-19
due to them testing positive for COVID-19.
All right, you want to make a motion, Bill?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. That is only for those that catch, that are test positive for COVID-19 themselves.
And immediate family or not?
No,
Okay, okay. So second? Second. Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any questions? Any other questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, BJ.
On the 18-1.
Yeah, that was 18. No video. BJ, can you hear me? BJ?
Hello, Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now.
Very good.
How are you?
Good, Judge, Commissioners.
All right, we're going to 5.1 on our agenda, public hearing 10 a.m. regarding 10 a.m. regarding Niagara Bottling LLC 2021 reinvestment zone. It's now 10:39 a.m. We will recess out of regular session, go into public hearing at this time. Any public comments? BJ, you want to go ahead and refresh our memory on the project?
Yes, thank you, Judge, Commissioners. You may recall this project was presented to court back in 2020 as Project Hydrate as a competitive project. Subsequently, a site in Chambers County has been selected. Application for tax abatement was presented by Niagara Bottling and approved back in June, last court, June 8th of 2021. This is a requirement for public hearing to establish a reinvestment zone and any commentary that would be received concerning the project. As a way of reminder, the project is a 611,000 square foot facility, phase one, approximately $82 million in capital investment. Niagara plans to invest approximately $135 million in a two-phase production facility in the Cedarport Industrial Park. Phase one would create 50 new positions, and with each additional lines, the possibility of creating anywhere from between 15 to 25 additional jobs. So what's presented for the court today is simply action on the reinvestment zone.
Okay, so we're in public hearings. Any public comments? Hearing none, we will recess, adjourn the public hearing at 10:40 a.m. Back into regular session of Commissioners Court. 5.2, discuss, consider approving order designating the Niagara Bottling LLC 2021 reinvestment zone.
Thank you, Judge. It's simply the order that would create the zone. All the required notices were published as required by statute, and the order is presented for court's consideration and approval.
So you think they could give us some samples for the Aaron's deal with United Way on Saturday morning?
I'm sure they're probably watching and probably going to respond very quickly.
He's actually here, BJ.
Oh, okay, very good. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I put him on the spot. Come on up.
Midnight.
Now, your name for the record again?
Jason Banks, Manager, Economic Development, Niagara
Oh.
There we go. Jason Vegas, Manager, Economic Development, Niagara Bottling. Yeah, that's absolutely something that we would love to do. I think, being
That's why I didn't put on the spot, huh?
a little challenging, give us a little more lead time, but we'd be certainly happy to do that in the future. If you guys have those types of events, let us know and we can certainly make that accommodation. Especially, it'll be much easier once the facility's up and running.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
But happy to answer any questions, Commissioners, if you have them, Judge, about the project.
one thing I'd like to point out, when I met you before, they make everything, the bottles and everything will be made in this facility, not just putting the bottles, the water in the bottles. I think the only thing you're buying is what, some of your crates or something?
We purchased the pellets themselves. I actually have a sample if you'd like to look at it, but I have a sample of what's called a blow mold bottle. So it comes out as a little kind of test tube, and we make the caps, we call them enclosures, the bottle. The only thing we don't make is the labels.
That's why I knew there was something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And y'all bottle something other than water?
We do, yeah, we do carbonated beverages, juices, increasingly, and actually in the Texas market, we're getting into what's called aseptic. So think like protein shakes, bottled coffees, sports drinks, that type of thing.
Oh, that'll come in plastic bottles also.
Yeah, and that will also be manufactured in-house, yeah.
Good. Any
Great.
questions? Any more questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved, Judge.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by Commissioner Combs. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge, for being here.
Thank you, Judge.
5.3, discuss consider Texas Baytown Grand Parkway LLC reinvestment zone application. BJ.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. Texas Baytown Grand Parkway LLC is an operation. It's another cold storage operation. They presented an application to court, which was approved last court. This is a request to conduct a public hearing to designate and create the Texas Baytown Grand Parkway 2021 Reinvestment Zone. Just as a way of reminder about the project, as I mentioned, is a cold storage refrigerated warehouse facility, 27-acre site. And phase one would create an estimated, let's see, at least 10 jobs going in for phase one. There's an additional 170 or 169,000 square feet planned for future expansion. And so the request is to conduct a public hearing on the next available court, which would be July 13th, to consider designation and creation of the reinvestment zone.
Entertain a motion.
Move to set a public hearing for July 4th. Did you say 14th?
14.
Me?
Motion by Commissioner Combs. That is next court day, right? It's 13th.
13th, yes, 13th.
13th. For July the 13th at 10 a.m. That's your motion?
Yes.
Any second? Commissioner Tice, you second?
Commissioner Gore. Yes, sir.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Any questions?
Questions?
Go ahead.
BJ, you said, I think you stated 10 employees?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me pull this up directly here.
Yes. The annual report here says 60 employees.
Y'all approved the application last week, or last quarter.
Yeah.
The project will create phase one, 35 new net jobs. For
Okay.
phase
For phase one?
Yes, sir.
So the 60 is
The total number of the company as it stands right now as it exists.
Okay, all right.
All right, any other questions? Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. You're down to consent, I think, cover this. No, back up 1.4, I'm sorry.
1-2 also.
1.2, discuss, we gotta get her down here. 1.4, discuss, consider approving nominations to various HJC advisory committees, aging and disability, regional flood management, natural resources, Houston Galveston Area Local Development Corporation, solid waste management. Several of these are appointees, Commissioner Tice's appointments. So Mark, go ahead with you.
Sure, Judge. The nominations to the various HGAC, we have some current representatives that will be coming back in the fold, Judge. Small Business Administration, which provides financing, obviously, would be Samantha Humphrey. In our Flood Management Committee is Brad Wilbur, which is a previous representative, and he's re-upping. And Luciano Palacios will be his alternate, Your Honor. Also on solid waste, we got Eddie Galloway and Susan Folsom. And Judge, on Aging and Disability and Advisory Committees, we've got Ira Eccles, and I found her 30 minutes after we talked, Judge.
Good.
She is on board. And that's it, Your Honor.
All right, and natural resources, that's my appointment, Project Wilcox. Lauren didn't get a hold of him, but I'm gonna go ahead and reappoint Project Wilcox. If for some reason he doesn't want to serve, I'll bring it back and get somebody else on natural resources.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, motion by Commissioner Tice to approve all those appointments, including the one that I had, correct?
Yes, correct, Judge.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hammond. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. One, do we have a legislative update today?
Dawn was in here.
Oh, she still is? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, bring her in if you don't mind. We'll wait on Miss Henry to come down. District Clerk. Been waiting for a while. I don't know who told her
I
not
talked
to.
to Michelle Bechtel. He's a governor. Yeah, he is appointed by the governor for one of the Harris County positions.
Oh, good. Good.
Hi, Don, can you hear us?
Good morning. How are
Good
y'all?
morning, Don. Sorry to make you wait so long.
No, that's quite all right. Y'all got lots of business to take care of.
Okay, we're on the legislative update item. You may proceed, ma'am.
All right. As you gentlemen may have heard, Governor Abbott has now signed the GCPD legislation, which was Senate Bill 1160, into law. So we have created the Gulf Coast Protection District. This district is intended to serve as the non-federal sponsor primarily for projects related to coastal protection that essentially extends from Orange County down through the Freeport area. Currently, the project that's on the table is referred to as Sabine Pass to Galveston Bay. A little bit of an odd name because it is actually 3 individual projects, not a continuous project for that reach. Currently, we do not have a designation for the executive director or for the governor appointees to the board of the GCPD. But we've heard that the governor has made those selections, just not made the announcements yet. As soon as the agency has an executive director and the governor appoints, he has 6 appointments to an 11-member board. What that means is that whenever he's finished with his appointments, there will be a quorum, even if the other counties have not made their appointees to represent their individual counties, and the district will be able to conduct business at that point. And we're expecting all of that to be stood up by October. The federal government expects that this entity will sign what's known as a project partnership agreement with the federal government no later than early January of 22. Nothing really has changed since our last discussion. Happy to answer questions. The entity will have the ability to raise ad valorem taxes, but that would have to go to the voters before it could happen. They also have the ability to raise funding in other methods, bond sales and such, and also to provide tax abatements and those sorts of things. Again, their primary function is going to be to serve as the non-federal sponsor on these projects that are large federal government projects. So they'll be responsible for 35% of construction, a variety of other responsibilities, and then ultimately long-term O&M of these projects. I've mentioned that they are able to raise funding, taxing, bond sales, those sorts of things. Currently, we are operating through these same projects without benefit of the agency, the GCPD agency. And the Texas 86 legislature back in 2019 provided $200 million funding out of Texas's rainy day fund. The 87th legislature, however, has opted not to dip into that rainy day fund, but has allocated $200 million again for the next biennium, this time through SB 1 on the general appropriations bill. And they are looking to pull that money from federal dollars that will come to the state in response to the COVID emergency. And if they are unable to identify specific federal funds to put into this, then the legislature has directed the state to move funds, that same $200 million, out of the Department of Criminal Justice into funding this project. So it won't be strapped for cash immediately going into to start trying to operate when it's first stood up, and they'll have some time to develop a plan for moving forward. Like I said, the governor's going to appoint 6 of the 11 board members, but each county, each of the 5 counties, Chambers being one of those, will need to designate a member to represent the county on this board of directors. So that's maybe something you guys want to start talking about in the not too distant future, so that you can have your voice heard as soon as the entity is up and running.
Yeah, we've got to be thinking about who's out there that we may want to appoint.
Actually, I spoke to one of the unannounced governor nominees yesterday, and he was suggesting that we appoint as soon as possible.
I agree.
Yes, sir.
And the one you're talking about is a good guy. I'm glad to have him on that
He's a
board.
really good guy.
We'll let the governor do the announcement we want.
Right.
Okay, any questions for Don? All right, Don, thank you very much.
Appreciate your time this morning, gentlemen. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Henry, 1.2, discuss, consider funding the district clerk's preservation project of historic case records. Morning.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. My name is Patty Henry. I'm the Chambers County District Clerk. I come with you today, for a request for funding for the District Clerk's Preservation Project. As you know, annually I submit an archive plan with our preservation projects and the progress on that project annually. Due to something else I'm going to inform you on later in this court session, we no longer are required to do that and set a fee in the budget, although I will continue to update you. Our current plan that we're working on has us working on civil case files, and we are doing that. We're doing that out of our records management and our archive plan budget. But I only have enough money left in my budget to fund this year and next year at $10,000 a piece. And then I'm basically out of money. Unfortunately, the county clerk has a lot more resources because she charges a lot more fees for different things. We are restricted to specifically court cases. And so we're limited in our collection efforts.
She won't make you alone.
Yeah, I would love that, but I'm sure she has money to spend still. I'm sure she still has projects. So one of the things that I have discovered as we have gone through the last few years is that there are some criminal case files and some other books that are strictly in paper form. They're extremely delicate in nature, and we have had researchers coming and asking us for this information. My predecessor did preserve these documents in microfiche and microfilm, and actually I have some on CDs. Unfortunately, none of that is indexed. So it's like
Needle in a
hunting for a
haystack.
needle in a haystack. It's very unfortunate. We have tried our best. As the court knows, in past, we've hired part-time scanners to work on our preservation projects because if they weren't deteriorating, we were trying to absorb some of that and save the county some money by having scanners scan those documents in. But they're too delicate to touch and my scanners can't find it. They just can't find the information. So this is kind of an extension of that project, obviously. We could kick the can down the road. Unfortunately, some of this data is very delicate, so we can't even grab it to scan it, to send it to someone. As you'll see on the quote that we were given from CoFile, the total project, proposed project is about $241,000. Now that doesn't include the Salt Dome explosion case, which is about a file cabinet and a half worth of paper. But obviously it's a significant historic case in our county. Eventually it could be more. I'm not asking the court to give me $241,000. I would love for you to give that to me, but I know, I understand that we're trying to cut pennies. So what I would propose though, or I would ask is if the county can find, like at least 10,000 just to give me to get this started. This will actually get the books. I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but if I go with CoFile, and other preservation companies do this as well, but if I go with CoFile and I give them a commitment for some amount of money to start, they'll come get all of those records and they'll store them for me in a very nice facility. And they can actually, I don't know how they do it. It's a magic thing, but if I call them and say, hey, I need case number, blah, 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 they can find it and get it.
Wow.
So it's a huge, big deal if we can at least get it there. And they're just looking for a little commitment. So that is what I'm asking the court for. I don't know if you have any money in your county records management or hotel motel or whatever, but that's what I'm asking for.
You mentioned the American Rescue Plan and the
that's-
funding from that. Will
Yes.
that work for this?
It
According to
does.
Patty, the other side, now, we've got a grant administrator, so we need to,
It does.
it does, others have used it. Now, if our grant administrator says, no, this won't work, but it's very open to lots of things, and I think it's creative, you can create things that. So I think we turn this over to Sam and let her go to Patrick and say, okay, we want to fund this, and we did get our first funding last week.
I mean, that
So we
would,
got half the money in the bank.
that would be great.
Yeah,
I
in the
didn't know
bank,
if it was already spoken for or not, but that's a lot of money. And, I'm just asking for a little.
Well, I know we're working on that, so it hasn't even come to court yet, exactly how we're gonna fund it.
I would
So
think it would be sufficient to do this.
I would too.
Okay.
But Patty, on your quotes, you do have 241,000,
Mhm.
but there's two to be determined line items in there. That's just got one of them's got a per sheet price at $1.50. And I don't know what the other one is. It's the Bayer case and the civil case files. You have an estimate of what that might be?
The civil case files are what was talking about earlier that have in
You're
my
doing
previous
in-house?
project that I'm doing. And what we're doing is we're just gonna see how far we can get with the 10,000 this year and 10,000 next year. And then CoFile is gonna reassess what's left of those civil case files, and then they'll be able to give me a better number for that. And the Bayer, they just literally have to go, they're gonna have to come down and actually go through the files and see what they're gonna charge. Any other?
Okay, I say we table it and let, work with economic development folks from Smith.
I think we have a meeting this afternoon with her judge.
Okay, we can bring this up. I'm sure she's listening.
Would you like me to forward it to her?
Sure, just forward it to her. I'm sure she's listening. So.
Okay.
All right, so you have something under consent. You have one or two things under consent?
Two.
Number 18, accept the district clerk's report on the local effects of Senate Bill 41, Chambers County Commissioners Court. What's your other one, Tom?
West Annex.
Which one, what number?
didn't circle it. Thank you, Lauren.
There's personnel.
Yes.
19.6, oh, under personnel.
Yeah, it's personnel.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right, go ahead, you can discuss those two.
Okay, Senate Bill 41. Just to update the court, I'm the district clerk for the county. I am also the legislative chairman for the district clerks for the County District Clerks Association of Texas. I'm the legislative director. And I'm currently the vice president of our association. So I was heavily involved in the legislative process this session, and I was very happy to find out that the OCA, which is the Office of Court Administration, which is the administrator for the Supreme Court, and I and my team got together and we worked on Senate Bill 41 together. Last session, we passed Senate Bill 346, which is the criminal consolidation bill, which combined and consolidated criminal fees into one fee across the state. Supreme Court was trying to get to prevent attorneys from having to file different court costs in each county they went to. They wanted a consistency. So we accomplished that last session, and this session, it was applied to civil and family court costs. Along with that, since we were doing it, we have been trying to consolidate issuance fees for clerks for 8 years, because the district clerk charges a different fee for a citation than the county clerk, and that's ridiculous. Especially now that we have county courts of law and many clerks are serving both courts. So we were able to get that in here also. So along with the raise I'm about to tell you, the court is also going to get a raise for the county clerks on all their service fees. Typically, I won't go through every single one, but typically the district clerks charge $8 for a citation. The county clerks only charged $4. Well, now they'll be charging $8. So it won't matter what court you're filing in, those fees should be the same, which is going to be easier, much easier for the filers. But I will quickly let you know that the new base fees, in your presentation, I'm just showing you our local breakdown, not what the state comptroller is receiving. This is just local funds. For many county, or for, I don't know, about a third of the counties in the state, this was the maximum they were charging. So it might be a little more than a third. But so they just decided to make it even. But for our county, we're getting a raise. So as you'll see, I've noted it in writing. The court reporter service fee is receiving a $10 raise up to $25. The courthouse security fund is getting a $15 raise per civil and family and probate and mental health and guardianship filings, all of our case filings. We are getting a new court facilities fee of $20 per case filing, which we've never had. So that will help. And that can be applied before you ask to new construction, bonds, paying off debt that you already have, to renovations, anything having to do with a facility. There's also a new county jury fund of $10 instead of the defendant paying it when they apply for a trial. It's just going to be automatically charged, just like in criminal. And there's a language access fund of $3 that's new. One thing that I did not include in the increase, because it goes back to the state if we don't charge it, is the county dispute resolution fund. I'm not actually familiar with how that works, but I think that the county has to adopt a resolution office, and I think it's mediation for cases. And if you have that office, then you can charge the $15 dispute resolution fund. Otherwise, it just goes to the state into the e-filing system. The same is for probate. There's a few more things that they added in probate that are specific to probate, but it's $58 a case for the county. So it's going to help our revenue. I know I'm always told that, well, we don't depend on clerk's revenue, and we don't expect you to collect and all that, but we do. We want to collect for you. It's important that everybody pay for their services, just like I have to pay for anything I do. So we're happy to do that for you. I'm gonna gauge this from last session. Last session, when I programmed the criminal case fees for every court, for every office, pretty much, except the JPs. Tammy and I worked together on that. It took about 4 months for me to do that. Civil is gonna take at least 4 months because we have to do all the programming in Tyler, we have to convert all the forms, and we have to change e-filing, our e-filing codes. So it's gonna be a job, and we'll talk about that later in budget. That's what that's for. And that's all I have on that, though. Does anybody have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Patty.
She's not done yet.
Oh,
Thank her,
Lord,
yeah.
we got more coming.
So do
And
you
personnel.
wanna-
Go
do
ahead.
you
Yeah,
wanna go
let's-
ahead and do
no,
it?
while you're here, let's talk.
Okay. When several years ago, Heather, I can't remember how many years ago, 3 or 4 when we started the West Annex? 5 years ago, when we opened an office in the West Annex, we just had temporary, we would pop in every once in a while, we would set our hours. Well, a few years ago, we made an agreement with the county clerk. She was gracious enough to give us some of her time. Christy Gobert was paid with a stipend out of my office to work part-time for us when we couldn't have a clerk there. She would answer the phones, she would issue certified copies, she would take in divorce decrees. She did not handle passports because that's not allowed. But she did some scheduling for us. And then we currently have a clerk that goes Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, and then all day Friday. And I knew that we were going to need a full-time person. As I mentioned this to the court several years in a row, that I'm putting it off as long as possible to try to save the county money. We were hoping to get through this year, but Christy has turned in her resignation saying the workload is too much, which I understand it, because my clerk, when she goes over there, she's way too nice, because she'll come back and say, well, I said, well, how was it? Well, I could have used some help because I did 17 passports and 5 divorces. And I'm like, why didn't you call me? I would have sent someone over there. And well, I know we're shorthanded. And so anyway, Chrissy is left. It's left a hole. I did submit this request to ask for a full-time person. I know it's in the middle of the budget year. I do not have the money. And after speaking with Aaron, he said that that's probably unlikely to get a full-time person. So I came back to him and I said, well, could it be possible just to give me like $10,000 to get me through the year and let me have a part-time person go and fill in and train them until I can, in my 2022 budget, get a full-time person. So that's what I'm asking for. If I can't get it, and I understand we're out of budget. If I can't get it, we're just gonna have to reduce services. I mean, I'm shorthanded here as it is. I can't send someone full-time over there. So I'll just have to reduce my services, but I really hate to do that.
So they would just have to come over here.
They'd have
Or
to
set
come
up
over
a farm.
here. Yeah,
But right now you got somebody over there part-time,
well, I have them go, like I said, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon and Friday.
so you can still do that.
Yes, I can still do that, but I am asking for $10,000 if you have it anywhere in the budget that could help me out. Otherwise, I will just come back to you during budget workshop and deal with it then.
Okay. Any questions?
We're a growing county. We're
Yeah,
just
we are.
growing by leaps and bounds.
All right, thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Thanks, Patty.
Okay, while we're on personnel, make sure Larry Mark's here for 33 and 34. Change order 9 from Texas Sterling. Cost savings amount of $23,185.75. And number 10, change order number 10, Texas Sterling in the amount of $19,860.34. Larry, good morning.
Judge, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Larry Marr.
I'm not real good at math, but it looks like we're gonna come out ahead, right?
I'm here to answer questions.
Will you explain to us what?
Briefly, change order 9 is a revision. The original change order 9 contained a math error, which we caught after it was approved by court. So change order 9 is a revision. Change order 10 is a new change order. It's primarily for fixing Broken Fin Road in the Joseph Cove subdivision. We anticipated a certain amount of cutting and restoring the concrete pavement on Broken Fin. When the contractor started that work, we discovered that Broken Fin concrete pavement had no reinforcement. And so the area got a little bit larger than what we initially anticipated.
When you say no reinforcement, are you referring to the steel that should be in there?
Typically, concrete pavement has, as a minimum, what they call temperature steel, which is bars going 90 degrees. This street had no reinforcement.
None at all. So the road wasn't built to specifications.
Don't know the history of that road and what specs they were supposed to use.
But the reason I ask that is Joseph Cove hadn't been accepted by the county, to my knowledge. So that raises a large concern there.
Yes.
In the future, if we accept that subdivision or not.
That's the same developer? Same developer?
Joseph Cove, no, roads in Joseph Cove, isn't it?
It comes out of the north side of Joseph's Cove
Okay.
and goes
Gotcha.
into
Right,
that.
goes over to the
other side, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It is.
Thought it was, because I see y'all working on it.
Yeah, well, we haven't accepted the road yet.
Well, that's good information if we hadn't accepted the road.
We need to find out.
Yeah.
All the roads.
So is that, Corey aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, any questions?
Didn't mean to get off track there.
That's all right. What else, Claire?
That's all.
Okay, so we're on consent. I'll start with precinct. We'll start. One, Jimmy. Questions on consent agenda?
But this is on the page. Discuss others.
Yeah, I mean, that's personnel.
Thank you, Larry.
We have the funding right now to do it unless Aaron can find something.
Okay.
And she had a new person and then she had the Colbert
Part.
do it one also.
So what if we table that particular one, bring it back, let Aaron see if he can straighten up some money?
Yeah, see, she had to
We can do whatever you
do
want.
it before you get to the district clerk.
And let's talk to,
Huh?
oh, never mind.
I mean, I'm curious, if you can answer the question, how many transactions are done over there for the district clerk?
I'm sure they do.
Well, I mean, it's not near as many for the district clerks as the county clerk, because, you know, there's a whole lot more services done in the county clerk's office. You know, can they manage it with going over there 2 afternoons and 1 day and set appointments or? So, but we can table it.
Tony had Tony.
Yes, Judge, I would say if he looks at our budget, since we're one person short, we're probably way under on salaries. Since I'm a nice guy, I could give up
Thank you, Tony.
$10,000.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, so we'll table that one. What else, Jim? Commissioner Gore?
Rest of them I'll discuss, Judge.
Okay. Commissioner Tice.
Mr. Sam pulled the rabbit out of his hat. I'm good, Judge.
All right. Commissioner Hammond.
I just had a comment on number 11, which was public management contract for the grant administration. That's for the American Rescue Plan. So looks like that come out to about a 4% administration fee for them to manage that. So I don't know if that's a good number. Doesn't sound crazy.
No, I think it is. They've done a heck of a job for us over the years.
Yeah, and the only other one I didn't get a chance to call Commissioner Gore was number 36 about the animal registration software.
Commissioner, you want to address it?
Yes, sir. I spoke with the sheriff.
Let me read it. Approve the purchase of animal registration software from our work in the amount of $1,885. Go ahead, sorry.
This is something he was really interested in implementing to be able to register the animals within the county. And it goes, we do it through the commissioner's office. And I spoke with Aaron and we'll be paying for that out of the health services, Aaron.
He's not out there anymore, but yes.
Okay, I'm sure that's where we're paying for it. And that way, using this program, when our deputies go out on the call, they can pull it up on their system, look at it, and see if the animal is registered or not registered. I think the sheriff is having issues, and he would have to answer more of this than I would with aggressive animals or animal bites. And this here gives him a little more leeway to be able to handle that situation.
I think technically we're supposed to have been registering those animals anyhow.
Yeah, we approved that several years.
Several years ago.
Yeah.
We actually had some tags within our office that we, and George is going to look into purchasing those. And so we can get this program, get each office trained up how to do it.
So if I understand it now, I'm talking to Commissioner Hammond yesterday, I would get my dog vaccinated. And then I would take that paper to the commissioner's office and get my tags.
Yes, you have to have your rabies shot, take it over there, and then we can decide on the fee or what it's gonna cost. Either, I think they have one on rabies shots, they have a 1 year, a 5 year, 3 year rabies shot. We can set the fee up.
So that's a countywide effort.
Countywide.
Yeah. So each commissioner would do their precincts.
That's the software that'll take care of all of it.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else?
No, sir.
Commissioner Combs?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Gore, for taking the lead on this. One, I guess a question for George. On item number 32, the service agreement, this company, I think that's one Corey's going to work for. I was looking at the rate sheet, and I can't figure out what rate we're actually paying for.
Corey qualifies like at $245 an hour. Where I did ask him that question. It's a good question, Commissioner.
Yeah,
So
y'all
his
working on the
right at
contract,
2
right?
Yes, sir. We're trying to finish that up. It's right about 245 was his piece of it.
Okay.
If you called him in the hour.
All right.
And that's pretty standard for what
Yeah,
we're getting. Yes, sir.
I
Okay.
wasn't, when I was looking through it.
No, me and you both. Yes, sir.
$245 an hour, so don't call them unless you need to.
Well, I want to know when I keep my timer going. You know?
Yeah.
Do we have like 15-minute rate on that?
You know,
I need to know
he's
what
gonna
the
be,
multiplier is.
he's gonna be very flexible in helping us, but you know, it's not gonna last long. The honeymoon will be over pretty quick, I'm pretty sure. If we do that, most of it is gonna try and do through Zoom or phone calls, okay? Making sure we understand that. Okay.
All right. And then a question.
And we're getting pretty good at that, so.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sorry.
Commissioner Hammond, the van, did we buy a new
What
van?
number?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's number 35.
Okay.
Did we buy a new van? Was that for
That was for
precinct 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is replacing the other.
Yes, sir.
No, Commissioner, just want to make sure and clarify, the one that we just bought, the $65,000 van was donated by the hospital district in Winnie. And with stipulations that it'd be used in the Winnie area. Now, Commissioner had bought a van the year before, okay? And that's the van that he's using there. So there's 2 vans in Winnie, one paid for by someone else and the van y'all paid for. Okay.
So we'll buy this one, will we keep the other one for backup?
I think
Or
We're discussing that.
Yeah, we're discussing that now, Judge.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
curious.
Yes, sir.
So the reason, I just want to clarify, we'll get the van. So the current van we have, which it's been out of service at least 3 times since I took office for lengthy repairs.
Yes, sir.
It has a manual ramp in it. So the ladies that run the van, they have to physically get those people in the van. So
Yes, sir.
which creates a great safety hazard. So,
For
the
everybody.
air conditioner's out about half the time, so, and I'm worried about somebody getting stranded on the side of the road in a van. So,
Yes, sir.
It happened, Gary.
It did. The entire cherry had to run into Houston.
Yeah. So
Okay.
just the whole manual ramp deal is not, that's not good for anybody.
Okay.
We're gonna get somebody seriously hurt. So
What kind of use do the van get?
it stays booked up all the time. So this new van will hold 2 wheelchairs. So we can coordinate better, because right now we can only get 1 person in there. So we're having to make multiple trips. So with this here, Lisa does a great job on trying to coordinate those trips. So we can haul more than 1 person at a time into Houston and get them where they need to go. So that'll become more efficient, but we keep our driver, it can real easily be a 40-hour job.
And just to make sure that it's set in court, it's a great service that the court does for the county. That's free to people that need it, people that truly
Yeah,
need
I
it.
understand it.
You
I'm
know, it's a
supporting.
great
I was just
service.
curious. I just knew we'd gone through a couple of vans.
Yes, sir.
recently. I'm trying
Yes,
to
sir, understand.
Figure out where they are. Okay, and last, number 38 on page 609. I'm just curious, when I look at the budget and, it looks like we're spending more money than we got budgeted there.
Yeah. Aaron, you in there?
And also,
Lauren, we'll get Aaron.
what should I say?
Semi-generator, Trinity Bay EMS.
He's got 23,000 left, but he's spending way more than that. He's got 29.
Yes.
I think the actual generator is 29,000, Commissioner.
If you look, yeah, if you look through the item, there should be a request for a budget amendment on there too with it. Because he didn't have money budget for this project, it's emergency, so we weren't prepared for it. So if you look through the packet, there should be a request for a budget amendment to cover that.
On your budget amendments?
It's actually in his items.
Yeah, it's in the item.
Yeah, so that's the budget amendment to that project.
And mountain transfer is $52,000. 23. That'd be kind of 091.
Yeah, so a lot of the whole EMS is mostly coming in at 091, plus some of his revenues coming in, should be enough to cover the project.
Yeah, and this is emergency replacement of the generator.
Yes, Commissioner, make sure we understand, this is an emergency of the generator they have. It's no longer
the EMS
working.
bill.
They need to get it before the season's coming, and it's like a 4 to 5 week lead
The
time to
season's
get
here.
this in. Yes, sir.
Okay, well, my
So,
question.
we've
is
already
really
had a
concerning
first
the budget, it just looked like it was over.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is, so that's why we have to put in with the items.
All right. That's all I got, Judge.
All right. Ashley, anything on, I know Lauren said she sent you over those 2 change orders. You good with those? Brad, anything on the change orders on Texas Sterling? You okay with those? All right, sounds good. I'll entertain a motion for the consent, to approve the consent agenda.
I move, Judge.
Second.
And you're tabling the one for the district clerk, correct? Yeah, motion by Mr. Hammond, one, and second by Commissioner Combs. Correct. And that was just to approve them all except that one payroll change. Those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. It's now 11:26 a.m. We're going to executive session to discuss and consider personnel issues and consultation with the attorney. Yeah, go take your time. And we'll be across the hall. Yeah, I would keep that as credit, or let me have it all. Get it on credit. All right, Terms County Court come to order at the executive session. It's, what time is it? 12:59 PM. Under executive session, we have one item to be voted on, discuss, consider personnel issues. I'll entertain a motion.
Judge, I have a motion here. My motion is to approve $10,000 for the personal grievance representation in the Chamber's employee case.
Pass that. I got a motion by Commissioner House,
I'll second that.
second by Commissioner Hammond. Oh, for the record, Commissioner Combs had to leave, so he's not present. Any questions? Hear none, those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Nothing further to come before the court. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Godspeed.